everyone, and welcome yourselves back to the channel, back for another Walking Dead related video. Today we're talking about Fear the Walking Dead. And apparently, according to multiple sources and on-set production information, Season 8 of Fear the Walking Dead, the upcoming season, will be its finest. Finalist. Final one. I don't know why I said finest. But this makes sense because it seems as though they're closing out the world of The Walking Dead. Walking Dead Season 11, Part 3, or Part C, whichever you want to say. The last 8 episodes air in October. So that'll be finishing. Fear will have probably 16 episodes or 2 parts airing next year. You've got the Rick and Michonne season, which is only 1 season apparently, just to close off that story and get them, for fan service, basically, just so people know where they are and how the story ends. You've got Daryl doing his thing, which will continue what Worlds Beyond did. Worlds Beyond ended, of course. And then you've obviously got Tales of the Walking Dead, no future at the moment for that. And then Dead City. So you've got all these seasons. So they're trying to close out the big ones, Fear the Walking Dead, 8 seasons. I'm genuinely surprised they got 8 seasons out of the show. It's I'm still to review the final 2 episodes. I know what happens, with Madison returning. I think Alicia died. Or she went missing or whatever. Morgan came back into the show. And you've asked all these questions. Why bring Madison back if it's just for one final season? If not for fan service? Because she wasn't killed on screen. That was the justification of bringing her back. Hence why you're bringing Rick back, because he wasn't killed off screen, but technically we saw him alive, but the characters didn't. So for Fear Season 8, I hope it's 16 episodes. I hope they don't do a reduced amount, or they might do an increased amount, like they're doing for The Walking Dead. I don't think the Fear the Walking Dead has near enough as much following. I know people have dropped off for The Walking Dead, but Fear, I don't think it ever had fans. A fan base. I don't hear people going, "Oh, did you watch Fear the Walking Dead tonight?" No, because it just doesn't happen. I get people watch it. I stepped off for a couple of seasons because it got repetitive and boring. They killed off all the characters that really resonated with the audience. Your Nick, your Travis, Alicia's obviously dead now. She did put a farewell message on her Instagram page. You've got Strand, who's been this villain when he doesn't need to be a villain. So he was like a villain at the start, then he became a good guy, but then he was a villain again. This whole shit thing with Daniel being going round in a circle, dying, not dying, being off screen, being a crazy person for Ophelia. You've got Morgan, who hasn't really got much of a direction apart from looking after this kid. You have the whole side cast. It's like John Dory, his dad, died for absolutely fuck all. There was just a lot of issues with like season 7. They had to stretch out these storylines, and I'm struggling to see. I mean, I understand why it's only 1 season left, and that's confirmed. But I'm struggling to see where they're getting 16 episodes from, because I want this show to go out with a sense of respect, with dignity, and to honor the 8 years they've worked on this show. Will they cross over Walking Dead? I've always dreamt of that. These guys finding, like, when Walking Dead ends, and then they do a flash forward at the end of Fear the Walking Dead, and they're in Alexandria, or they come across Alexandria when they finally caught up with that timeline. But the issue is, there's going to be a time skip at the end of The Walking Dead, and they're already ahead of Fear. So where does Fear fit into the future? How do you end Fear? Walking Dead makes sense. You beat the Commonwealth, you kill the Commonwealth. Now all the issues there. You live in the Commonwealth, you live in Alexandria. You've got all these communities that could just go to and from, and there's peace. Where's Fear? They don't have a set settlement. They're a very disjointed group. Madison and Morgan have been kidnapped. It's just very messy. So I just ask this question. Will a crossover be possible? I hope so. I think, if you watch Fear and you watch The Walking Dead, it's the dream we all want. I think for the benefit of both shows, a crossover would be great. You know, Rick returning to Alexandria one day at the end of his show with a show reunited with or with an older version of Judith would be fantastic. And for Morgan and Rick, you know, you think of Daryl and Rick, we've always wanted a reunion. But for Morgan to have jumped from Walking Dead, you know, being the first ever character Rick came across with Dwayne, you know, disappearing, returning in season 3, disappearing, coming back in season 5, being a main character, going over to Fear in season 8 or 7, whatever it was. It was 8. Being a prominent and main character in the Fear the Walking Dead universe for what, 4 seasons now. And then for him to reunite with Rick and for that to be that end of story, I think would be the most beautifully well written, well put together thing. And I think Lenny James and Andrew Lincoln will be all for that. These two incredible actors who started the Walking Dead universe to end it in Alexandria. You know, him raising his baby, Rick and Michonne looking after and raising RJ and Judith. And I think that's the direction Fear has to go in, because if they stay in this area, they'll go nowhere. Morgan knows how to get back to Alexandria, so they should all leave and go with him and live in the community and do the time skip and then do the comic book ending with Judith reading to RJ, would it be? I don't know who it would be because it was Carl reading to Judith in the comics, I think. But yeah, you get my point. I'm excited for Fear the Walking Dead Season 8. I will be getting all my reviews out before the finale season. Going all the way back to Travis, Nick, Madison, Alicia, and Cole. So let me know down below your thoughts on Fear the Walking Dead Season 8, most likely being the last season. It is not in concrete, it's not set in stone, but I guarantee you it will be. This news wouldn't have came out if not to be true, because I think AMC is sort of trying to push away from the Walking Dead universe, get all these spin-offs out of the way, fulfill these characters, and then just end the show. I think that's what will in 5 years, the Walking Dead universe will cease to exist. And I just pray, I hope they wrap up all the seasons perfectly. Dedicated Walking Dead fans will love that. Of the Fear the Walking Dead, of all the spin-offs we talked about, and so forth. And, you know, people would probably talk about, will this be remade? No. You know, these are the shows, not the most perfect, but I think the fact that they've got to season 11, they've got to season 8, they've got to spin-offs, it's just a true it's a true reflection of how well these guys can act, how well they are as directors and writers and actors and just everything. And I just genuinely can't wait to see how this show ends. I'm intrigued more than anything because I don't know. Like Walking Dead, we know it's beat the Commonwealth and it's settling down, getting all these communities to be on the same page, and finally not having those threats. So yeah, let me know down below your thoughts on Fear the Walking Dead Season 8 being the possible finale. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and be sure to be ready because Walking Dead reviews are back on October 3rd. Genuinely, I'm so excited. 12 years has come down to this. Don't miss it. Goodbye.